Okay, good morning everyone. So, for today, we will be discussing all about financial statement audit, all its general concepts, and later on, we will be practicing to answer a certain problem, which is somehow a problem that will summarize on what we are going to do in this subject. Okay? So, but before everything else, I hope that you are doing okay, ha? So, despite of the present situation right now, so I hope that really you are trying to cope up, no? Alam namin na mahirap talaga, but then again, we must push through to keep moving on. Okay? So, let's start, no? So, financial statement audit, okay? So, 'di ba? As what we have known from previous topics or discussions we had from our lower accounting subjects, it is a basic premise or it is a fundamental notion, 'di ba, na financial statements are basically responsibility of management or of the entity's management. So kung baga, if we are to say it in a layman's term, no? Ang may responsibilidad talaga ng financial statement is ang management. Okay? So basically, financial statements are assertions by the management. Okay? These are assertions of management in regard to financial information. So, kumbaga, pag sinabi po natin na assertion, kumbaga, ito yung pinapakita ng management na financial information ng isang entity. Okay? Ito ang kanyang ina-assert na financial information. And that assertion is basically a responsibility of the management. Okay? So ano ba tong mga ina-assert or what are the assertions of management in regard to financial information, no? So we have this in general 5 assertions. Okay? Kumbaga, ito yung sinasabi ng management pagdating sa financial information. Okay? So, ang discussion natin sa audit, everyone, is basically, we will start with discussion on assertions, no? On management assertion. Because again, basically, the purpose of audit is to check if this information or these assertions by the management is fairly presented. Okay? Fairly presented. So, number 1 assertion by management. Existence or occurrence, no? Under this assertion, kumbaga, sinasabi lang ng management sa atin na kung ano ang financial information na binibigay ko sa inyo ay talagang nag-i-exist o nangyari talaga siya as of reporting date. So kung ano yung mga transaction na nag-result sa asset, liabilities, okay, equity or income and expenses, sinasabi ng management na ito ay nangyari talaga or nag-i-exist. Okay? That is basically the existence or occurrence assertion. Next assertion is completeness. Ina-assert sa atin ng management pagdating sa financial statement na ang lahat ng information na binigay ko sa inyo ay kompleto. Walang kulang. Next is rights or control. Ina-assert sa atin ng management na lahat ng na-present sa inyo ng mga asset or obligations or liabilities as of reporting date ay talagang pagmamay-ari ng entity or may control ang entity dyan sa mga asset or talagang obligated ang entity sa mga liabilities na ni-report. Okay? So, rights or control, no? Talagang ang entity ang nagmamay-ari or may control or talagang obligado. So, these are, or that is one of the assertion of the management. Next is, ina-assert sa atin ng management na ang lahat na na-present namin sa inyo ay tama ang valuation. Kumbaga, kung ano ang na-present na value ng asset, ng liabilities, or ng equity transaction, at ng income at expense, ay talagang tama yung pag-value namin. Yan yung sinasabi nila pag nagpe-present sila ng financial statement. Impliedly stated, no? Impliedly stated. And next, lahat ng na-present namin ay tama, appropriate presentation, at lahat ay aming na-disclose, walang kulang. So, kumbaga, ina-assert sa atin ng management na lahat ng asset as of the reporting date or lahat ng liability, lahat ng equity as of the reporting date are fully disclosed. Lahat ng income, lahat ng expenses are fully disclosed. That is the assertion when it comes to appropriate presentation and full disclosure. Now, the concept is that because these financial statements, which basically are assertions by the management, okay? Because these financial statements are used by decision makers in making a sound decision, okay? In making a sound decision, there is really that need to prove na lahat ba ng assertion na ito ng management ay talagang totoo o tunay o talagang nangyari ba, no? Bakit kailangan natin ng proof or evidence? Kasi nga, okay, as stated earlier, financial information is the responsibility of the management, diba? Management prepared siya and they are responsible for it. So sa kanila galing lahat yon, yung financial information at yung mga assertions. But then again, sometimes hindi talaga natin mapigilan na there would always be that question, diba? There would always be that question na kung gaano ba katotoo. Because again, there would always be existence of conflict of interest. Diba? So, kung baga, paano natin masisiguro nga totoo nga yun? Kasi nga, gustuhin man natin o hindi, mayroon talagang mga conflicts. Okay? So, to solve that, okay, somehow, to cure that problem, okay, to cure that problem, we need someone to vouch, okay, we need someone to vouch that all these assertions basically are fairly presented. Kailangan natin ng third party. And that third party, okay, and that third party should be independent, okay, should be independent from the users of information, and it should be primarily dependent from the management. Okay? Third independent third party, kumbaga, no? So, ano ang gagawin ng independent third party? I-check niya ngayon, okay, ang financial statement kung totoo nga ba na itong mga assertions na ito ay talagang nangyari or it was fairly presented. Okay? It was fairly presented. Para somehow, ang mga users of information ay kampante talaga na kampante sa financial information kasi nga nakita at na-check ng isang independent third party. Okay? So, ang independent third party class, no? Yan ang audit. Okay? Yan ang audit. So, an audit basically is an independent evaluator on the fairly presentation of financial statement. Sila yung nag-check, okay? Ang audit. Okay? So, klaro yan siya ha? Klaro yan siya. Now, chine-check yan siya ng audit gamit basically, hindi yan siya kumbaga parang free-for-all evaluation, no? Chine-check yan siya based on what is GAAP and based on standard, no? Or based on certain framework. Example is in the Philippine setting, yung mga Philippine standards on auditing natin. As to the reliability or the fairness of the assertions, ang basis nila is ang GAAP, is yung mga generally accepted accounting principles natin, 'di ba? So the audit process, no? So the audit process, basically, there are 1, 2, 3, and 4, no? In general yan siya, no? Major process when we conduct an audit. So the first is yung tinatawag natin na pre-engagement activities. Second is itong audit planning, evaluation of internal control. And third, yung evidence gathering. And last is yung reporting of the result. Okay? So, pre-engagement activities, dito mangyayari yung basically evaluation of the client's business, evaluation of the client, and the decision process whether or not to accept the engagement. Okay? Whether or not to accept the engagement. Or, in case of yung mga retainer transaction, kumbaga ikaw yung auditor nila for how many financial years, financial reporting periods, whether to retain or not, no? So basically, ina-assess mo dyan yung reputation ng business, may pagbabago ba sa ownership, yung reporting practices ng client mo, and last, most importantly, okay, or equally important din siya, if in general, kaya mo ba ang audit? That includes evaluation of the skills, the resources, and the competence if you can really complete the audit within the required period. Okay? Sa next phase, okay, is audit planning and evaluation of the internal control. So, dito na yun lalabas na after, sige, if na-determine mo na okay naman itong kliyente na to kasi in general, not in bad reputation, okay yung business, okay sila when it comes to reporting, nagko-comply talaga, and we have the necessary skills, resources, and competence to do the audit. So, you decided na, sige, let's accept the engagement. So, the next phase would be planning the audit. So, in planning the audit, okay, number one, you should obtain understanding of the client's business and industry and accounting policies, no? Um, Plain and simple lang naman talaga. Before you engage in everything, you need to understand what you are doing, no? And you should understand the object of what you are doing. So you must have a general understanding of the client's business. Diba? Second, understanding of the client's internal control system. Okay? So, alam naman natin, di ba, from previous subjects natin kung ano tong internal control, no? So, di ba, when we say internal control, these are the processes, procedures within the entity that safeguards the entity's resources. Kumbaga, this is the safeguard within the entity. And it comprises, di ba? It comprises everything from policies and procedures to the placement of manpower or the organization as a whole. Kumbaga, ito yung guard ng entity within themselves na para maprotektahan sila if there are any, in general, fraudulent activity within the entity. Ito yung safeguards nila, di ba? So, as a whole, it encompasses all the policies and procedures in safeguarding the entity. Diba? So, yan yung internal control, no? Next, an auditor needs to have an understanding of the internal control system because the general concept is, if the internal control system or the internal control of an entity is effective, okay, is effective in detecting if there are any material fraud or misstatements that could happen in the financial statement preparation or in the financial statement as a whole, if that internal control is effective, then most likely, the financial statements are fairly presented. Kumbaga, auditor would rely on the effectiveness of the internal control. Kasi yun nga, directly related ito sa audit. Kasi yun nga, kung effective ito, most likely, kung any material misstatements in the preparation of the financial statements is easily detected because internal control is effective. Okay? Assessing materiality and audit risk. Okay? In this process, no, in the planning, you are to determine, diba, in general, you are to determine what are those items considered as material when it comes to the overall effect in the financial statement presentation. Kasi yun nga, you may note a misstatement, kumbaga, you may note a misstatement in the financial statement, but however, if we consider its effect in the financial statement as a whole, it is not material. So you may still report the financial statement as fairly presented because although there are errors, there are misstatements, it is immaterial. And assess audit risk, kumbaga, dito mo siya i-assess, most like, dito mo, or in this phase, i-assess mo, kumbaga, what is the audit risk? The likelihood that the audit cannot detect any financial misstatements or error. That is your audit risk, no? Na, kumbaga, chine-check mo ang likelihood if regardless sa ikakandak mo na audit is kung kaya ba nito or ano ba yung likelihood na hindi mo or although matapos mo ang audit, okay, matapos mo ang audit, ang misstatements, misstatements or errors ay hindi pa rin natin ma-detect. So that is audit risk. Okay? Next, identifying the audit objectives, determining whether reliance can be placed on specific controls or the internal control, nature, extent, and timing of that substantive testing of the evidence obtained, and designing the finalizing the audit program, no? So basically, if we look at all these processes, no, we are just basically, number one, trying to understand the business and its internal control, if it is effective, or in understanding the business, alam ba talaga natin yung negosyo na i-audit natin? At kung effective ba talaga ang kanilang internal control. After determining all these factors sa audit planning and evaluation of internal control, we are now trying to plot our things to do. Okay? Our things to do in the audit. So that is planning and evaluation of internal control, no? So next is yung medyo mahaba talaga na process, is yung evidence gathering phase na. Ito na yung actual audit na chine-check mo na yung mga financial transactions concerning the financial statements and so on, no? Testing the general ledgers, the trial balance, and so on, no? And dito talaga yung kumbaga, ito yung medyo mahaba na part sa audit kasi yun nga, ito yung evidence gathering, no? Or the audit documentation. Okay? So next phase, natapos mo na lahat, nakagather ka na ng evidence, and nakadraw ka na ng conclusion about the audit, ano talaga, kung fair ba o hindi, is the reporting phase. Ito na yung phase na gagawa ka na ng report. Dito mo na sinasabi kung ang financial statement ba na prepared ng management is fairly presented or not. Okay? Is fairly presented or not. Okay. So, in general, there are two types of report. Okay? And by the way, class, no, pag sinabi po natin na reports, basically, we are giving opinion. Di ba? As stated earlier, ito yung purpose talaga natin sa audit, no? Or, external audits are basically, or the objective of external audits is basically to give opinion on financial statement. So, in general, there are two types of opinion na pwede nating ibigay, ba? Unmodified or unqualified at itong mga modified opinions, no? So, itong unmodified or unqualified opinion class, ito yung pag sinabi po natin na okay ang financial statement in general, fairly presented in all material respect, okay? Sa lahat ng mga material na bagay, which binase po natin sa applicable na reporting period. Okay? Reporting framework. Okay? Fair presentation. Okay? Itong mga modified opinion, okay? Itong mga modified opinion, ito yung parang kumbaga may mga problema. Okay? So, itong mga modified opinion, there are three types of modified opinion. Number one, we have the qualified opinion, we have the adverse, we have the disclaimer. Okay. Qualified opinion is ini-express po natin siya if, ganito yung general concept niyan, mayroong material misstatements or error. Okay? Na-detect. Or, kung hindi man natin siya na-detect, pero deep inside, alam natin na mayroong material or kumbaga, na-detect natin siya, pero kumbaga, walang evidence tayong nakuha. Pero alam natin na mayroong material misstatement. Okay? Mayroong material na misstatement or error. Pero, ang effect niyan sa financial statement is hindi pervasive. Okay? Hindi pervasive. O kumbaga, hindi siya nakaka-apekto na masyado sa financial statement. Okay? So, in that case, we express qualified opinion. Yung kumbaga, sinasabi natin, presented fairly in all material respect except for the possible effect. Okay? Ang other term nga nito is ito yung mga except for opinion, no? Na sa pangkalahatan, okay siya. Majority of the financial statements are presented fairly except for these things. Na material yung misstatement but not pervasive effect, but do not have a pervasive effect in the financial statement. Okay? So that is your qualified opinion. Ang adverse opinion, kung sa qualified opinion, medyo-medyo lang, ang adverse opinion, ito yung grabe talaga na material statement, okay? And its effect is pervasive sa financial statement. So ito yun, itong mga opinion na ito, dito natin sinasabi na ang financial statements talaga do not present or is not presented fairly. Okay? In all material respect. Okay? Do not present fairly the financial position or the financial statement in general. Okay? Ito yung mga adverse opinion. Itong disclaimer of opinion class, no? Ito yung mga sitwasyon na nag-i-express tayo nito, wherein we really cannot give an opinion. Gustuhin man natin, hindi natin kaya talagang magbigay ng opinion because there are limitation. Okay? There were scope limitation or the audit was conducted in a limited process, kumbaga limited scope. So in that sense, kumbaga nag-conduct tayo ng audit pero kulang. So ano yung gagawin natin diyan? We cannot give an opinion because basically kulang nga, 'di ba no? Kulang. May gusto tayong gawin pero hindi natin nagawa. So most likely we do not give an opinion on such matter because it might be na kumbaga hilaw yung opinion na gagawin natin kung we were limited on our scope. So ano yung best option? Do not give an opinion. Disclaimer. Okay? So, those are the basic, or that is in general what is audit, no? So, kung mapansin ninyo, medyo simple lang talaga to kasi overall lang na picture on audit because the theoretical aspect of audit is is discussed in your auditing theory subject, no? So, let us go with a sample problem, no? Para alam ninyo kung ano yung may encounter natin dito sa practical auditing na mga common problems or in general that would summarize, okay, that would summarize the problems to be encountered in this subject, okay? So, we have this exercise, no? So, the field work, okay, of the audit of Kirk Corporation provided all these transactions, no? All these transactions. So, the unadjusted trial balance has been presented to you, which is this one, no? All this information. And the noted information when you do or when you did the audit documentation or evidence gathering, nakuha nyo ito ng mga information. Okay? Nakuha nyo ito ng mga information. So, number one problem natin dito na na-note is ang petty cash fund daw. Okay? So, the petty cash fund on January 2 showed its composition as follows. So, alam naman natin kung ano yung petty cash fund, di ba? Ito yung, di ba? Ito yung, parang kung baga, pera na nandun sa cashier, nasa safety box, na cash box ng cashier na ginagamit for petty expenses, yung mga maliliit lang na, kung baga, hindi practical na isyuhan natin ng cheque. Ito yung petty cash fund. So, chinek daw natin sa audit yun. And during the audit, ito yung mga nakita natin. Kung mapansin natin, sa unadjusted trial balance, it was presented ng petty cash fund daw was 15,000. Ito yung composition niya. Okay? Ito yung composition niya. Nung chinek ang petty cash box, nakita na may 6,000 daw na currency and coins. Mayroong mga petty cash vouchers totaling 6,000. And mayroong employees post-dated check amounting to 3,000. Mayroong cheque nakapangalan sa empleyado nakita sa petty cash box amounting to 3,000. So ano yung kayang nangyari dito? Bakit nakita itong cheque na nakapangalan sa empleyado sa petty cash box? Ang transaction nito is that ang empleyado inisyuhan ng cheque ng company, siguro as sweldo, pina-encash niya sa cashier. Si cashier ngayon, nung nag-encash siya ng cheque ng empleyado, kasi allowed naman talaga yan siya na ipa-encash siya sa cashier yung cheque, nilagay niya sa petty cash box kasi kinuha niya yung pera na 3,000 sa petty cash fund. Okay? Petty cash vouchers, ito yung mga voucher of expenses na ginamit ang petty cash fund. Ito yun. Okay? The point is, in 2018, okay, lahat daw dated 2018. So basically, expenses ito ng 2018 na ginamit sa petty cash fund. Except for one expense amounting to 1,500 na applicable expense siya for 2019. So, ang question nito, okay, para alam natin kung anong problema. Under the concept of cash and cash equivalent, diba? Kasi covered to sa financial accounting natin, cash and cash equivalent. Tama ba na itong mga petty cash expenses na to, i-present siya as part of petty cash fund? And tama ba na itong employees post-dated check na to, i-present siya as petty cash fund? Obviously, itong currency and coins, tama talaga na i-present siya sa petty cash fund kasi nga, currency and coins, actual to na pera na nandun sa petty cash fund. Ito, Hindi ito pera, kundi voucher na, mga nagamit na ng petty cash fund. Pero ngayon, ang problem is, present siya sa financial statement na as if hindi siya nagamit. Kasi yun nga, present pa rin ang petty cash fund natin at 15,000. Diba? So, yan yung problem. So, ano yung gagawin natin dyan? Para makorek, we will make adjusting entry. And by the way, in this or in auditing basically, majority na gagawin talaga natin are adjusting entries. Because yun nga, we are trying to correct all misstatements and errors. Okay? Tapos, para makorek siya, obviously, we are to make adjusting entries. Diba? So, the first thing that we should do, okay, in solving this problem is to make the petty cash count. Ito yun. Okay? Ito yung petty cash count natin, no? So, sa petty cash count class, no, we are just basically checking is accounted ba properly ang petty cash fund natin. So, petty cash fund yan dapat i-account is 15,000. Na-account siya na kung saan ito yung mga nakita natin or these were the things na we noted in the petty cash box. So, meron tayong currency and coins. Meron tayong yun nga, yung voucher. And meron tayong post-dated check. So, again, if we are to add all of that, 15,000 yung total. So, properly accounted ang petty cash fund natin. Walang shortage or overage. What is wrong is that during the presentation, in-include pa rin siya as cash. Diba? Pero in fact, dapat hindi na. Kasi yun nga, these are expenses na. These are, hindi na siya cash. Kasi yun nga, post-dated check ng employee yung nasa atin. Hindi pa siya liquid, kumbaga. So, what should we do? Make adjusting entry. Dito, wala tayong adjusting entry kasi yun nga, tama siya na presented as part of cash. Currency and coins nga, oh. Ito, we need to make adjustment kasi expenses na to hindi na recognize. So, our first adjusting entry, debit, petty cash expenses. Okay? Credit, petty cash fund. Ibawas sa petty cash fund. Next, ito, kasi yun nga, this pertains to 2019 expense pa and 2018 yung reporting period natin. This is to be presented as a prepayment. So, the entry is prepaid petty cash expenses, credit petty cash fund at 1.5. Ba? Next, ito, kasi nga, cheque ito ng empleyado, hindi siya makahintay sa date ng cheque, kumuha siya o nagpa-incash siya sa petty cash fund. Pero, in substance, hindi pa ito cash kasi yun nga, post-dated. So, the adjusting entry is to recognize it as advances to officer or that particular employee. Advances to credit the petty cash fund. So, after making all these entries, okay, after making all these entries class, kumbaga, meron tayong net deduction ngayon sa petty cash fund totaling 9,000. Okay? With that adjusting entry, ang petty cash fund natin ngayon would be correctly presented at 15,000 minus this, di ba? Minus this 9,000, no? Same lang yan sila, di ba? Minus this 9,000, ang net petty cash fund natin is 6,000 only. Di ba? So, next, na-note natin na transaction or na-note natin sa audit. Meron tayong na-note na mga several cash transactions wherein kung papansinin natin yung unadjusted trial balance natin, 243,600 was presented as cash in bank. Pero, during the audit, we noted this item, this reconciling item. Diba? So again, balikan natin yung concept natin about cash and cash equivalent. Ano ba yung mga dapat natin i-present as cash and cash equivalent? Diba? Number 1, customer's check returned by the bank marked the if in December 2018, pero na-redeposit siya in January 2019, 35,000 daw. So meaning, mayroong check ng customer, nakuha natin, dineposit natin sa bangko in December 2018, pero binalik ng bangko. Kasi yun nga, daif siya or drawn against insufficient fund. Okay? Pero na-redeposit siya in January 2019. Okay? Question is, dapat ba ito na i-present natin as cash on December 2018? Obviously, the answer is no. Diba? Kasi yun nga, sinauli natin yan siya, so hindi yan siya cash ng entity. Pero na-include siya dito. Dapat natin ibawas. Ano yung adjusting entry? Ibabalik natin ang accounts receivable. I-credit natin yung cash na na-record natin na na-deposit na. Diba? Credit memo presented by the bank from one of the company's major customer. Si bangko ngayon, nakakolekta para sa atin. Diba? 40,000. Sinabi ni bangko sa atin na nagkolekta daw siya. The point is, this amount was not presented because, or this amount is not included in the presented cash in bank because this was directly collected by the bank. Hindi natin ito na-record. So, the point is, dapat natin i-include. Kasi yun nga, properly collected siya, properly collected from customers ni bangko. Na-deposit na, obviously, kasi nga, si bangko yung nag-collecta. Ano yung entry natin dito, yung adjusting entry? Siyempre, debit cash in bank, credit the related accounts receivable. Diba? Next. A check drawn by another company, 35,000 incorrectly charged by the bank in December 2018. So, anong nangyari dito? Merong cheque, okay? Cheque ng ibang company, kapareho lang ng pangalan siguro natin, na properly withdrawn sa bangko. Ang mali is that ang bangko ni-withdraw niya sa account natin. So the point is, hindi natin ito na-record kasi yun nga, hindi ito transaction. Pero ni-record ng bangko. So meaning, kung hindi natin ito na-record, hindi din ito na-present as a deduction sa cash in bank natin. Tama tayo. Ang mali is ang bangko. So, the point is, wala tayong adjustment na gagawin. Kasi yun nga, tama tayo. Okay? Next. checks issued by the company in 2018, not yet recorded and not yet cleared by the bank as of December 31, 2018. So, ano yung transaction? Nag-issue tayo ng cheque in 2018. Hindi natin na-record. Pero at the same time, hindi rin siya na-clear sa bangko. Outstanding check amounting to 105. The point is, hindi siya kasali or hindi natin siya na-deduct dito, tama, sa na-report natin na cash. And at the same time, hindi rin siya na-record as a deduction ni bangko. So the point is, wala tayong correction. Kasi yun nga, hindi pa siya na-deduct ni bangko. Outstanding. Okay? Outstanding check siya. Kasi nga 'di ba, if we remember our concept in cash and cash equivalent, outstanding checks are, or the adjustment for outstanding checks is that the cash that was supposedly credited is returned and the related accounts payable is to be re-recognized. Diba? For outstanding check. If that particular outstanding check was recorded by the company, obviously. However, in this particular transaction, this check was not recorded. Okay? And at the same time, not yet cleared. So, no adjustment. Okay? No adjustment siya. Next, the company wrote several checks at the end of 2018 for accounts payable that were held and not mailed until January 15, 2019. This totaled 48 and were included in the outstanding checks. Ito yun siya, yung sinasabi natin kanina. The company recorded checks issuances. So this was deducted already. However, these are outstanding at the end of 2018. Kasi yun nga, hindi pa na-deliver, hindi pa na-mail sa mga supplier natin. So that means to say na deducted sa cash in bank pero hindi pa nabigay sa customer, dapat ibalik mo muna natin kasi yun nga, pera pa natin to. Hindi pa naibigay. So the adjustment is debit cash in bank, credit accounts payable. Diba? So class, if you may notice, no, from these two information pa lang, no, kung mapansin natin, ang practical auditing topics encompasses pa rin your financial accounting. And sometimes, even your advanced accounting topic. So the point is, you need to have a strong background sa iyong financial accounting at advanced accounting so that you can really identify, what are those misstatements or errors presented in the financial statement. Lahat na cover nito. Okay? So, kung titingnan natin, to continue, kung yung number 1 and 2 natin, it's all about cash ngayon, trading securities na naman, or investment. Ba? So, anong nangyari? In the unadjusted trial balance, the trading securities was presented at 330,000, which this was the fair market value on December 31, 2017. Ano yung requirement ng PFRS 9 natin? Diba? Trading securities are to be presented at its latest fair market value. Any changes in the fair market value is to be presented in the income statement. So, ang fair market value, pinaka-latest natin na data is 12/31/2018, obviously. So, the point is, the trading security should be presented at 350,000. Pero, the unadjusted trial balance presented it at 330. So, there was a misstatement. No? So, how will we adjust that? Concept of recording investment in trading securities, financial asset at fair market value, di ba? Debit, trading securities, credit, unrealized gain. So, each investment in trading securities, no? Debit, trading securities, credit, unrealized gain, trading securities to be presented in the income statement. Debit, trading securities, credit, unrealized gain on trading securities, again, to be presented in the income statement. Unrealized loss, para to kinuha natin, obviously, yung fair market value December 31, 2017, which was the presented value minus the current fair market value, which is at 160. So, bumaba from 180 to 160. So, we have a loss. So, debit, unrealized loss, credit, trading security. So, after all these adjustments, di ba? After all these adjustments, our trading securities will now be presented at 350,000. Okay? So, di ba? Taas ng coverage, no? So, next, accounts receivable na naman tayo. Okay? So, the accounts receivable were presented at 3,544,000. Okay? The accounts receivable daw, okay, the accounts receivable included these amounts. Customer accounts. Alam naman natin siguro kung ano yung customer accounts, di ba? Pag sinabing customer accounts, these are the accounts receivable from customer. Part of that accounts receivable, sinali nila yung advances to officers and employees at 120,000. Diba? And meron din sinali na goods out on consignment. Okay? The entity's practice is that bad debts are to be estimated at 5% of outstanding accounts receivable. So, how will we analyze that problem? Okay? Obviously, we do not have a problem sa customer accounts because properly, these are accounts receivable. Tama? Accounts receivable from customer, yan siya, di ba? So, properly included as accounts receivable. Itong advances to officers and employees class, tama siya, okay? In the sense na receivable nga siya kasi yun nga, advances to officers and employees. May advances na binigay tayo para sa officers and employees. Receivable siya, correct. However, what is wrong is that this is not accounts receivable. Diba? This is other receivable. So, we should deduct this in the balance of accounts receivable. So, adjusting entry natin dyan, recognize the other receivable as advances to officers and employees, then credit the accounts receivable. Diba? That is our adjustment. Next is that we have a goods out on consignment. Kumbaga, yung item natin na binibenta, niligay natin to someone or to a third party na yung condition natin is consignment. Kumbaga, bibigyan mo lang ako ng pera kung ano yung nabenta mo dyan pag once nabenta mo na. Diba? Yun siya. Yan yung concept natin sa consignment. The point is, the standard requires na goods out on consignment are to be considered as sale when it is sold to the ultimate customer. Kumbaga, if we are party A, the one who owns the goods, then si party B yung consignor natin, yung consignee natin or yung nilagyan natin ng item. Then we have party C na siya yung customer ni party B. Okay? Siya yung customer ni party B. Considered sold lang yung consigned goods once maibenta na kay C. Pero yung time na binigay natin, which is tayo si A, papunta kay B, hindi pa yan siya sales. Diba? So the point is, it was included na sa sale. Recorded dito kasi yun nga, part na siya ng receivable. Which is dapat hindi. Kasi yun nga, wala pang actual sale sa ultimate customer. So, ibalik natin yung accounts receivable. Okay? I'm sorry. Baliktad ang entry na to. Dapat, debit, sales, okay? Baliktad to ha. Typo error. Debit, sales, credit, accounts, receivable. Okay? Debit, sales, credit, accounts, receivable. Okay? Baliktad yan siya. Typo error. And lastly, because it was already included sa it was already deducted sa inventory natin, dapat natin ibalik. Diba? So, how will we return it to our inventory? Debit inventory, credit cost of sales lang. Diba? And last, for accounts receivable, is itong bad debts. Diba? Sinabi nga nila na 5% ang estimated bad debts based on outstanding receivable. So, ngayon, if we are to total the correct amount of receivable, we have 2,799,000. So, ang 5% niyan is 139,950. So, to adjust for the recognition of bad debts, we have debit bad debts, credit, allowance for bad debts, di ba? Yung simple entry natin when it comes to bad debt recognition. Okay? So again, class, sa typo error to, dapat debit yung sales, credit yung accounts receivable. Okay? Baliktad yung na-input. So, next. Okay? So medyo mahaba-haba na tong topics na na-cover natin, no? So again, you need to have a strong foundation sa inyong financial at advanced accounting. Diba? So next, inventory checking na naman tayo. Okay? So diba, when we do inventory checking class, most of the time, cut-off test yung ginagawa natin. Okay? What we are trying to determine here is that tama ba na sinali yung inventory sa inventory per record, o tama ba na hindi sinali sa inventory per record per unadjusted or per financial statement. Kumbaga, within the cut-off or chine-check natin dito is ano yung mga items na dapat natin tingnan within the cut-off period for inventory. So we have this transactions, no? We have 2, 4, and 5. Okay? 5 transactions of inventory. So, letter A. At 35,000 shipments of goods to a customer. So, tayo yung nag-ship ng goods, or kumbaga, tayo yung nagpadala ng goods sa customer. On December 31, 2018. Ang terms is FOB destination. Okay? Remember the concept of FOB, the terms of shipment, no? FOB destination. Hindi siya included sa inventory natin. Kasi yun nga, during inventory count, hindi na siya nakita kasi ongoing na yung shipment niya. As of December 31, 2018, nasa dagat na or nasa eroplano na, di ba? The goods cost 26,000. Yung sale is 35,000. Ang cost ng goods is 26. Na-receive ng customer, January. Ang sale is recorded in 2019. So the point is, ang question nito is, tama ba na hindi natin siya i-include sa inventory wherein, number 1, the terms of shipment is FOB destination and the goods was received on January 8, 2019. And secondly, tama ba na ang sale is i-record natin in 2019? Well, the answer is, tama yung sale. Why? Because the term was FOB destination. Again, kailan matatransfer yung ownership ng goods if the terms of shipment is FOB destination? Once the goods is received by the customer or when the goods arrives in the destination. Diba? So the point is, because dumating siya January 8, 2019, tama na na-record yung sale January 8, 2019. The perfection of sale happened or occurred on January 8, 2019. Ang mali is that hindi siya nasali sa inventory natin where in fact dapat kasali kasi yun nga tayo pa rin ang may-ari nito because the title should have passed only on January 8, 2019. Diba? Adjusting entry. Recognize the inventory. Credit the cost of sales. Okay? Credit the cost of sales. So yun nga, tanggalin natin yung cost of sales kasi hindi pa nga siya naibenta. January 8, 2019 pa. Diba? January 8, 2019 pa. Next, an invoice for goods costing 35,000 was received and recorded as purchase on December 31, 2018. So this is a purchase transaction. Na-receive December 31. Ang term is FOB destination. Okay? Pero, ang mali is that na-record siya, okay, on January 12, 2019. Okay? The goods were shipped on December 31. Ang terms is FOB shipping point. So again let us repeat. Ang goods recorded as a purchase on December 31, 2018. Okay? Recorded as a purchase. Medyo mali itong problem na to, no? let us just, let's say, disregard this item class. Let us disregard this item. Okay? Na typo error na naman. So, let's just say ganito. Okay. An invoice or goods costing 35,000 was received and recorded as a purchase on December 31, 2018. Okay? So, mayroong goods received and recorded on December 31, 2018. It was shipped terms FOB shipping point. Okay? So the point is, medyo mali talaga, wait. Okay. Ganito pala. Ito yung i-disregard natin na term. Okay? Mali to, mali. Disregard this statement. Okay? So, ganito. An invoice for goods costing 35,000 was received and recorded as a purchase on December 31, 2018. Okay? The goods were shipped FOB destination and recorded on January 2, 2019. January 12 rather. Okay? So, okay, ganito. Ito pala yung hindi, let me correct again na ito yung hindi kasali ng statement dito. Ganito. Mayroong goods na record as purchase. Tapos ito wala na to. Mayroong goods recorded as purchase on December 31, 2018 amounting to 35,000. Okay? The goods were shipped on December 31, 2018. Ang terms niya FOB shipping point. So again, nag-order tayo ng goods amounting to 35,000 recorded as purchase natin on December 31, 2018. Ang goods were shipped papunta sa atin, ang terms FOB shipping point on the same date, December 31, 2018. So, ang point is, although recorded siya natin as purchase, it was not recorded as inventory because hindi siya nasali sa inventory count natin. Why? Kasi yun nga, hindi pa natin to nakita na inventory. Kasi, nasa shipping point pa lang siya on December 31, 2018. So, although it was recorded sa purchase, hindi siya kasali sa inventory. Okay? So, we need to add it. Okay? We need to add it. The entry to recognize the addition is debit inventory, credit, cost of sale. Okay? Debit inventory, credit cost of sale. Next. Goods costing 27,000 were received from a vendor on January 5, 2019. The related invoice was received and recorded on January 2, 2019. So, bumili na naman tayo. Okay? The goods were shipped on December 31, 2018 and terms was FOB shipping point. So, ang point is, pumili na naman tayo, already shipped or nasa shipping point na siya on December 31, 2018, pero all invoices were recorded on January 2019. So, ang question is, kasali ba to siya dapat sa inventory and purchase natin on 2018? The answer is yes. Why? Because again, terms of shipment is shipping point. Title already had passed. Add in inventory. So the adjustment is, because number 1, hindi siya na-include na dapat i-include natin, debit inventory, credit, cost of sales. Number 2, because hindi siya na-include as purchases in 2018, where in fact, it was recorded in 2019, we need to make the adjustment na i-recognize siya as purchases in 2018, credit the accounts payable. Okay? So next, inventory cut-off test indicate that 22,350 of inventory received on December 30, 2018 was recorded as purchases and accounts payable in 20 items. These items were included in inventory. Okay. Mayroon dang inventory na per cut-off test natin was received on December 31, 2018. So, it was already included sa ating inventory. No adjustment needed. What was wrong is that it was recorded as a purchase and accounts payable in 2019 only. So, ano yung adjusting entry natin para dito? Tama naman yung we have to debit purchases and so we have to debit purchases and credit accounts payable. Di ba? Debit purchases, credit accounts payable. Okay? So, we do not need to make any adjusting entry for inventory because again, it was properly included. Ito, which is tama naman na include siya kasi yun nga, nandun na siya sa during the cut-off. Ang mali lang is hindi siya na-record as purchase and accounts payable. Okay? Last adjustment for inventory is that meron daw several sales invoice, okay? So this is sales recorded in 2018 for goods that were shipped in early 2019. Okay? So merong goods recorded as sales in 2018 pero na-ship daw in 2019. Hindi siya nasali sa inventory because it were set aside in a separate shipping area. The total amount of this shipment was 36,000, which is the sales price, and the cost is 25,000. So, medyo marami ang nangyari nito, no? First question is, tama ba na i-record siya as sales in 2018? Second, hindi pa siya na-ship, okay? Put into a different separate shipping area pa siya. So, hindi siya nasali sa inventory natin. Dapat ba siya, ang tanong is, or the question is, dapat ba siya isali sa inventory? Okay? The answer is that, in general class, okay, in general, until it is shipped, okay, until it is shipped, an inventory should be included as part of the seller's inventory. So, in this particular problem, or in this particular transaction, okay, in this particular transaction, dapat natin ito i-include because wala pa talagang shipment na nangyari. Okay, wala pang shipment na nangyari. And it was not included because hindi siya nasali sa count. Kasi yun nga, nandun siya sa separate area. An exception to that rule, okay, is yung tinatawag natin ng mga special orders. Diba? Ito yung mga customized products. Wherein, pag in-accept mo na yan siya, yung mga special order, regardless of the shipping status, considered as sold na yan siya kasi yun nga, wala ka ng ibang pagbebentahan yan. Kasi yun nga, pag tinawag natin na customized, custom according to the specification of the buyer. So, wala ka ng iba talaga pagbebentahan yan, kundi yung buyer niya lang talaga. Considered as sold na yan siya, regardless of the shipping. However, in general, until it is shipped, kung baga, until napunta siya sa shipping point, sa barko, okay, until napunta na siya kumbaga, until napunta siya sa ship na papunta na talaga sa buyer, it is still a inventory of the seller. Kasi yun nga, pag sinabi natin, di ba, example for shipping point, yung binabantayan natin pag shipping point is, di ba, ang shipping point, which means that, until sa shipping point, ang inventory is still sa seller. Diba? So, until it is shipped, seller pa rin ang may-ari ng goods o ng inventory. So, tayo ang seller sa transaction na to. We need to recognize it as we need to recognize it as part of our inventory. So, debit inventory, credit, cost of sales. And because nasali siya as sales natin 2018, dapat tanggalin pa natin kasi yun nga, wala pang actual sale, wala pang transfer of title. So, debit sales, credit accounts receivable. Ang adjustment. Pag tinanggal natin yung recognition of sales, di ba? And next, because this is related to a receivable which in our previous computation, di ba? Nag-recognize tayo ng bad debts dito. Tanggalin muna natin yung bad debts kasi ang point is itong particular na to na transaction was included dito. 'Di ba? Kasi yun nga, it was recorded as a sale in 2018. So tanggalin natin yun. Paano natin tatanggalin ang bad debts? Reverse the original entry. Debit the allowance, credit the expense. So after all adjustment, our inventory should have a net corrected cost of 4,511,900. Okay?